April 2022, CCTV records prison supervisor Vicky enter through a back door. Half a minute later,
Vicky.
She comes back out with a prisoner. Casey White, a 6'9" giant of a criminal serving 75 years for attempted murder.
Jesus, some big ass ears. Imagine being 6'9", having a big head, a big body, but your ears are still too big for your body. I'd make do.
They quickly leave in the car as police scramble to make sense of the situation. Vicky, a prison supervisor with a 2-decade-long career and perfect record, just disappeared with a dangerous criminal. Police assumed that she was forced or manipulated into helping him escape. But that's when new evidence came to light, showing that she might have planned the entire thing.
She probably fell in love with him.
As a nationwide manhunt began, police would realize the rabbit hole went deeper than anyone expected, leading them down a dark path, ending with...
I'm gonna let this play for a second. I gotta get pissed. Kato and Turkey's in charge. Don't do anything too crazy. Listen, chat. How about everyone starts singing the Queen song, We Will Rock You, in chat, verse by verse. See if you guys can get it right without fucking it up.
Vicky found dead with a bullet in her head.
Vicky, stay with her! Vicky!
It's April 29th, 2022, and prison officer Vicky has just told her work colleagues that she's taking a prisoner to a psychological evaluation at a local courthouse. But something isn't right, as she's transporting the prisoner alone, despite rules mandating prisoners must be escorted by 2 officers at a time. But because of her senior position as a supervisor, nobody stops her, and it would be 6 hours before police realize that Vicky and the prisoner are never coming back. Desperate for clues, police start looking into the man that Vicky escaped with. It was Casey White, a man serving 75 years in prison for domestic violence, home invasion, murder, and brutally attacking a man with an axe. But there was one crime that stood out to police even more. 7 years prior to this, Casey had abused and manipulated his then-girlfriend.
Bro, my headphones got like stuck and like wedged into my chair somehow. What up, Dylan? What up, dog?
To a point where she tried to escape from Casey's vicious hands. After they successfully made it to her friend's house, Casey would break into the house with 2 guns and full intent to...
Damn, that's badass. He had 2 pumps. Shh. Honestly, bro, I'd let him go. Okay.
Murder them both. Luckily, they both escaped and survived his vicious attack.
That's crazy.
That's when Casey fled the scene and began a series of carjackings across several states.
Just finish this one.
Finally getting into a tense standoff with multiple police officers.
Casey, put the gun down. Let me see your hands, man. Put the gun down, Casey. Put the gun down, bud. Casey, put the gun down. Just relax a little bit.
Trophy is that or tell her to watch you.
Hey, Casey.
Yes, sir.
I will get you a sun drive if you'll be still. Just be calm. You ain't got no more gun on you, dude. No, you got that fucking out.
It's unusual, but the cops rolled a drink and a pack of cigarettes.
No, bro, like the little crack in my chair, like where like the seat in the back meet, my headphone, like the cord went in between it, and there's not enough room to pull the earbud through. So then I was like trying to like jimmy it out to the side, but then like the headphones weren't long. Like, how does shit like that even happen? Like, it's more likely that that wouldn't happen than to happen. Like the headphones swinging perfectly into the crack. Like how if your lanyard or your keys get caught in the cabinet. Like the shit that's like the most unlikely to happen happens to me. I genuinely don't understand it.
Reds towards Casey, hoping this would calm him down and avoid a shootout. Miraculously, this actually worked, and the cops were able to move in and make an arrest. His interrogation gave cops an even clearer view into just how insane this man was.
I've been trying to wait just to kill her ever since. I couldn't wait no longer. I had to do it tonight.
Do you regret what you did tonight?
I regret I didn't kill him.
Police now had a clear picture of who Vicky just helped
escape
prison.
Exactly, Kato.
But how does Vicky fit into all of this? She works at a completely different prison, and there's no plans for Casey to ever see outside these walls again. Well, 1 year later,
What
Casey
a Morgus.
confessed to a murder, resulting in him being moved to a different prison. This kicked off a series of events that would eventually result in Vicky's death. The murder that Casey confessed to was a 4-year-old cold case. It's unclear why Casey owned up to it now, but he was able to give specific details that nobody but the killer could have known. And after a short trial, he was quickly transported to a new prison, the same one where Vicky worked. Vicky is
a big boy.
56 and has been divorced for several years.
Exactly,
and
Alina.
put her heart and soul into her job. She was a model employee and popular among her colleagues, but her life had become boring and lonely. She wanted to change, and when Casey showed up, that's exactly what she got. They slowly began to talk more and developed a connection. They bonded over their shared last name and began to think that they were destined to be together. She started coming in on her days off and was noticeably happier. Despite having a great life on paper, Vicky had become enchanted by her feelings for Casey and was ready to throw it all away to be with a dangerous criminal. But how can this happen? Well, it turns out it's not as rare as you might think. Some people are attracted to dangerous people. They know
Yeah, bro. Girls love convicts and felons. I'll never understand it, but you know, it's a thing, bro. You can't explain it.
they could kill them at any moment, but feel special knowing that they choose not to. On top of that, Vicky had started to feel trapped in her day-to-day life and as though she had nothing to live for. If she could make a break with Casey, it'd at least be exciting, even if it did mean throwing everything away. While Casey was serving at Lauderdale, Vicky allowed him unrestricted access to parts of jail that prisoners aren't normally allowed to see.
People make edits of serial killers since I've been seeing them since I've been on the internet. It's nothing new. Like, women have been obsessed with serial killers. Like, at the Ted Bundy trial, there were fans outside. Same thing, I was about to say Marilyn Manson. Fucking Marilyn Manson. Yeah, the
Including
Manson
areas that
family,
aren't covered
like,
by security cameras.
people,
Many
girls,
speculate
guys, they
this
love
is
killers.
where the pair were intimate with each other and formed
To
their
not
plan to
trust
escape.
cons.
Even at this point, Vicky still had no idea that this would turn out to be the worst mistake.
I don't know, bro. This might be like simplifying it, but like being like a hardened criminal, like killing somebody, like stealing to the point where like you're going like federal prison or hurting people, is like, it's cringe, bro. I'm in love with a criminal. It's cringe.
Of her entire life. 3 days before their escape, they decided to do a test run after Vicky told her colleagues that Casey had an appointment with a judge at the courthouse. Of course, there was no appointment, and they just sat in her patrol car for 9 minutes before returning. But now they know this works, and they're ready to make preparations for the real thing. 2 days before their escape, they're spotted on camera passing notes. It's thought that this was them discussing the final part of their escape plan, but by the time this footage was discovered, it was already too late. By April 29th, 2022, everything was in place, and they're ready to make their escape. As Vicky holds a senior post at the prison, she has certain powers that she's about to take advantage of. She arranges to send 12 inmates and 5 deputies to court on the day of the escape, leaving her as the last remaining officer in the prison with transport privileges. She then tells her bosses that Casey has to be taken for a mental health evaluation. Looking at the surveillance footage, it's clear something was up. Vicky has her firearm with her, something that is
In her hand?
strictly forbidden inside the prison walls. She's also walking in front of Casey instead of behind him, showing she trusts him not to harm her. By helping Casey to escape,
She's gonna
esteemed
free her,
prison officer
man.
Vicky has
Oh,
thrown
this is on Netflix?
everything she had away, and in one pivotal moment has become a criminal.
Vicky's always been a good girl I went to school with. It's got to be other people involved, and Vicky's just a scapegoat. You knew her, you loved her.
I feel like if she had anything to do with it, it was definitely love.
Vicky and Casey
Damn.
casually walk out of the prison into a patrol car and drive away to freedom. It took 6 hours before anyone noticed they're missing. When
Oh
the
my
prison calls the
God.
courthouse to see what's taking so long, they're told that there is no appointment, and they come to the horrible realization that Casey has
There
made a
was
break
some
for freedom.
looks.
To evade the authorities, they quickly ditch the patrol car and flee the state, and the cops now have no clue where they are, where they're going, or how to find them, marking the start of an 11-day manhunt that will span the nation. On day 1 of Vicky and Casey's escape, the cops try to find clues at Vicky's home, but she's nowhere to be seen. In fact, she doesn't even own the house anymore. As part of her plan, she sold her house for extremely cheap. With the money, she bought vehicles, guns, and most suspiciously, men's clothing. This is the first indication the cops have that Vicky doesn't intend on coming back and is ready to start a new life.
95K. I wish I was there to cash in on that, bro. I would've got a loan. I got a lien or something. Shit, we could've pulled in and got that house. That'd been quick little flip. He was breaking her backs while she helped the escape. Ha 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 ha!
Casey. Things don't get any better for detectives when the patrol vehicle they used to escape is found abandoned at a local shopping mall. And even worse, there's no surveillance footage covering that area of the parking lot, so they don't even know which direction they went. But on day 2 of the manhunt, a tip-off from her family blows this case wide open, as it's revealed Vicky has been renting a storage unit. Police are able to locate the storage unit and discover that she was renting it with a burner phone. But despite their best effort to track this new number, the cops came up with nothing. But the existence of this new phone is the first solid evidence.
Chet, he was dicking her down so good that she said, "Hey, you want to get out of here?" And he was like, "Yeah." Laugh, everybody, laugh. Come on, laugh. It's funny. Sex escapes. Come on.
That cops have showing Vicky planned this all along.
I miss you, Lexi.
Actually a willing participant instead of a hostage.
You get the sense they were
Instead of doing time, she's doing crime. Jailbird to loverbird. There's
actually within discovered he was not forcing her in any way.
Good
Right,
one.
no, he was not forcing her. It was a mutual relationship.
Good morning,
You'd
America.
think that this would help the investigation, but things only get more insane and confusing from here on out. After realizing that they're essentially back to square one, the cops return to the shopping mall where they found the abandoned patrol car and decide to comb through all of the surveillance footage from the days leading up to the event. That's when they spot Vicky a few days before the escape, parking a car in a nearby parking lot. And this isn't her usual car either. It's one she bought only a couple days earlier, a 2007 Ford Edge that the cops quickly realized had to be their getaway vehicle. But when police went back to the parking lot and the supposed getaway vehicle was still there, they realized that Vicky had left a decoy.
Of Alaska.
Police had just lost their only clue, while giving Vicky and Casey a 5-day head start. But since they abandoned the Ford, the cops assumed that they have.
Bro, you could literally just drive out to Wyoming and escape. There's nothing out there. Nobody knows the fuck's going on out there. I've been to Wyoming, bro. I had to stop there a couple times to get gas when I was driving through it, and there literally isn't fuck all going on, bro. I remember stopping at a gas station, and it was like pay inside. I'm like, man, fuck. I go inside, and the attendant's sitting there. He's got overalls, no shirt, and he's like, huh, you want gas? The fuck do you think I'm here for, motherfucker? Nothing else in Wyoming. Yes, I want some gas. Some true crime.
Have to have found another vehicle in the area, and lo and behold, they quickly picked up another lead. A homeowner nearby.
Nah, it is beautiful. I will say that. It's very gorgeous, but there is nothing out there, bro. I drove through one of the biggest cities in Wyoming, and it was kind of sad. Like, bro, even their McDonald's looked like it was built in the 70s.
Told them he sold his Ford F-150 pickup truck to a man who approached his house on the day Vicky and Casey went missing. That man is described as being around 6 feet.
It's not a show. It's just true crime. It's just a true crime video, dog.
9 inches tall and looked exactly like the picture he was shown. Now all they have to do is find that Ford F-150 and bring this manhunt to an end.
Oh, slay.
Thanks to another lead, they're closing in.
Look, me too.
On day 6, the owner of a
I'd be going to sleep to this shit. I find like a 2-hour true crime and boom.
In Indiana noticed something strange. A Ford F-150
Mr.
had been
Ballin.
parked.
I've watched all his videos, bro. He needs to upload more, bro. We already watched all his videos. He used to upload so much. I missed Mr. Ballin. but
unusual amount of
it
time.
should slow
and he
down.
suspects this vehicle has been abandoned. Unfortunately, this is before a search was initiated for the truck, but something's still not right. This pickup truck is far too nice to have been dumped by anyone sane, and the owner quickly grew suspicious. In order to find out, he checks out the car wash surveillance footage, and what he finds will help the cops finally capture their two fugitives. That's Casey getting out of the pickup. And he's acting very strangely. He's waiting for Vicky, and she's in that car driving just out of shot. When Casey gets in the new vehicle, leaving their pickup and driving off, the owner knows they're up to no good and calls 911.
There's a truck been sitting in my bay since yesterday at 3 o'clock. I looked at my cameras and the guy's kind of suspicious. It's a Ford F-150 four-door truck. It's blue in color. It's got Tennessee license plates on it. And I've got him on camera.
The next day, cops
Damn.
arrive at the car wash and initiate a search of the truck.
Does it return to a Dodge?
You know, it's like heaven. Doom scrolling. I don't honestly get a lot of true crime on my TikTok, to be honest. In the shower.
With nothing to go off of, the cops quickly leave the scene and the pickup is towed away. It takes 4 days for this vital lead to get back to detectives.
Honestly, 95K with the amount of money they're spending probably isn't going to go that far.
But when it does, they drop everything and head straight to Evansville on day 10 of the hunt. They're due to arrive at the car wash at 9 a.m., but fail to show up on time, frustrating the car wash owner so.
How the fuck is it day 10 and they're still in the same fucking state? Is she just planning to live in the same state that she tried to escape from? Bruh, 10 days? I would be all the way in California in 2 days. The fuck are you doing? Thanks, Alaska.
So much that he takes matters into his own hands and calls the local press.
Appreciation.
So then, 9:30, they're not here. So I said, I get on the phone to Fox News. I said, y'all want a story? Yeah, we like a story. I said, I got one. So I got a convict over at my car wash. I got him on camera. He said, you talking about the one in Kentucky? I said, no.
Oh yeah, they got from Kentucky to Tennessee in 10 fucking days.
I'm talking about the one in Alabama with the girl. I said, okay, we'll be right there. They showed up. They got there 10 minutes before the marshals.
U.S. Marshals arrive during the media frenzy, and when they take a look at the surveillance footage, they realize they've found the car Vicky and Casey could still be driving, a Cadillac, and one that Vicky and Casey think is
Dang, that caddy is colliding, bro. You can't even see the tires moving. Went the long way twice. Yeah, bro, you'd think you'd want to get out of the fucking South.
completely unknown to
What
the
up, Jip?
cops. It seems like their days on the run are numbered. But even with the
It's a
leads
nice
they
Escalade, damn.
they come up with nothing. And the cops are starting to realize their fugitives could be anywhere in the country. But as it turns out, they're closer to home than anyone thinks. Back in Evansville on day 11, a cop is on his way home from a long shift when he sees a familiar-looking vehicle parked outside a Motel 41. It looks like the same Cadillac from the car wash, and he hastily
went
takes down the
back,
license
yeah.
plate. The problem is, the license plate of the Cadillac seen at the car wash was never seen, so they have no way of knowing if it's the same vehicle. But they do have the license plate of the recovered F-150, so grasping at straws, they decide to run that through their license plate reader,
Only
and
for
when they
art
do,
stuff?
they strike gold.
Bro, Jep, you're keeping that game in business.
Several traffic cameras
Weird.
have picked up the F-150, and following it in nearly every shot is a Cadillac.
Pot favor. Can I get a Puff Bar pot favor?
A Cadillac whose license plate perfectly matched the one at Motel 41 right in front of them. Finally, by sheer luck, the cops have found their fugitives. All they have to do now is bring them in. First, deputy marshals find strategic positions around the motel. They're all in plain clothes and unmarked vehicles, hoping to be as covert as possible. But while the cops surround them, Vicky and Casey are in room 150 watching the TV in horror right as the discovery of the Ford F-150 hits the news. The plan was to bring Vicky and Casey in quietly, but before they get a chance to put their plan into action, Vicky walks out of the hotel room and throws a bag into the Cadillac.
Love a good
She's followed
pot
by
flavor.
Casey, and even though they're in disguise, there's no mistaking Casey White's massive frame. Casey gets behind the wheel, and the Cadillac takes off. The cops' plan has been completely foiled once again, but they've got a backup. They're going to follow them and try to box them in to avoid a confrontation. But before they get a chance, but they realize they've been spotted. Casey turns onto US Highway 41 and hits the accelerator, taking the cops on a chase across traffic and through parking lots until he manages to make a break for freedom by driving straight through an open field. At around the same time, police dispatch receives a call from none other than Vicky herself, and it gives you an idea of how terrifying this chase really is.
John, airbags are going on. Let's get out. Run.
A police vehicle forces Casey to drive straight into a ditch. And
Damn! It's a ram.
this pursuit is brought to a sudden halt. But it's far from over, as cops know the pair are armed and could open fire at any point in some kind of Bonnie and Clyde-inspired shootout.
Crashed out. He crashed out.
Shotty crashed out. Pull her ass out. Then I spaz out. Bro, I love how cops will just trash their cars. They don't give two fucks because they know our tax dollars are gonna pay for it. They fuck those shits. They fuck them up so bad. You guys would know something crazy, chat? You wanna know the leading death for police officers? You know what's the leading death of police officers? It's not shootings. It's not stabbings. It's not anything to do with criminals. It's the top two things for police officers are, number one, they crash their own cars, not even doing chases, just driving down the highway irresponsibly, crashing all the fucking time. Number two, it's always heart disease. That's the two top killers of police officers. Really? Yeah, really. Well, invested you are. Thank you. I think. And a cop passed me. They just don't give a fuck because it's not their car. Like, when I was learning about this stuff in school, they're like, the biggest, and the guy was even telling us, he goes, the biggest reason police officers die is because they don't care because it's not their car. And they can just drive it however they want. To be a PI eventually, a private investigator? Well, for.
Please, check him out. It's not up, guys. Check him out.
Thanks, my wife. That's a best woman in the world right there. Please, that's the best woman in the world. Vicky, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry, baby. Anybody in this world don't deserve it. She don't. When she's herself, it ain't me.
Damn, he sounds like Forrest Gump.
But y'all ain't gonna believe me. I'm gonna say I killed her. It's
Fine
like y'all
shit
asking
out.
everybody else.
Finally, after 11 days, the manhunt has come to an end, and they've got Casey unharmed in handcuffs. But Vicky met a much more devastating end. Just 2 weeks ago, she was an upstanding member of society, an esteemed prison officer respected by those around her. Now, she's a fugitive, laying in a criminal's stolen car, conscious, but with devastating injuries.
Davis, you good?
Damn.
Still got it in her hand. Yes, good. Medic right here, medic. Get back. Still in her hand? Yes. It's in her hand. Still breathing.
That cop, bro, he let the medic walk past him. The medic was like, all right. They said, medic. And then the medic walks up, get the fuck back. I'd be like, what did I do? Damn, you guys called for me. She shot herself. Yeah. She ate some lead.
Break the center up here.
Bullet for breakfast.
Well, I think we can reach in and get the gun. Secure that. That'd probably be easier than windshield.
Oh, see, little open. Good idea. We got cover? Yeah. It's opening. You got me? Yep. I'm gonna go for the gun first. All right, pull me out. All right, I got it.
She's been shot in the head, and Casey claims she took her own life.
What up,
When
quietly?
cops get a better look, they find her finger is still on the trigger of the gun. Later that day, Vicky was pronounced dead in
Over
a
some
nearby
dick.
hospital.
Chat, one thing I've learned, bro, people's like love and like sex and lust will they'll fuck over the people closest to them. They'll forget family, they'll forget morals, they'll forget hard work, they'll forget everything for some pussy or some dick. Like, they'll fuck over like anybody, bro. It doesn't matter.
We'll never really know what the two had planned for their life together after their escape. Whether they wanted
It'd
to
be
go
that
off
crazy
the
of a
grid
day.
and settle down.
I bet Never mind.
or live the rest of their lives on the run. Well, it turns out Casey never planned to keep
Not that
Vicky
deep.
around at all. He described her as a liability and someone that didn't have the mind for this sort of thing. It's likely that she would have been ditched shortly after this point, or killed by Casey anyway, as he was found guilty of first-degree prison escape and sentenced to life behind bars. He'll be 98 years old before he gets a chance at parole, so this terror of a man will likely be off the streets until the day he dies.
Well, I sure fucking hope so,